Hello, my friends. We're going to talk about the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. It is on November 1st. And for those of you who celebrate Samhain, this is fabulous because Samhain is the end of one year and the beginning of a new one in old traditional cultures. So, having a new moon on November 1st, All Saints' Day, a new year, is fabulous to initiate and begin new projects, new endeavors. But the biggest thing about the new moon in Scorpio is about that deep introspection of the self and setting new goals based off of the work that you've been doing on yourself for a long time. Whenever the sun is in Scorpio, which it is now, and on November 1st is the new moon in Scorpio. What is the degree of that? It's at 9 degrees of Scorpio. So early, the first 10 degrees of every zodiac sign is the pure, true essence of that zodiac sign without other Decan rules coming in here. What that represents and what that means is we have this period of an opportunity to initiate and to set some new things into play. Now, I know there's a lot going on in the world around this time frame, here in the US especially, but let's keep it to you, all right? Because we can only do what we can do as individuals, and that creates a collective result. But I want you to really honor this time of year when it comes to this new moon in Scorpio. I want you to honor the, the things that are going on inside, the things that are really move you, the things that are really, really deep. This is a wonderful time to do some inner work, call it shadow work if you like. I think that's a really wonderful time. It is a wonderful time to do this because we need to do this regularly. So we're able to move forward and step forward on our lives, on our life path, on our spiritual path, on that journey. It's important. I just ate breakfast. It's important to be aware that sometimes it's not always about growth and expansion in a very material way. Lots of times it's about what is the deeper inner work that I'm doing. This is especially true when we're at the new moon in Scorpio once a year. What is that inner work that I need to do? What is the shadow work that I need to do? And we get to see what is holding us back on the most current level or layer, if you will. People like to use that analogy of peeling an onion when we're doing our own deep inner shadow work. And that's what this can represent. That's what this is fabulous for. So on November 1st, here in the East Coast, my cameras. Here on the East Coast, the new moon in Scorpio, 9 degrees of Scorpio in 35 minutes. So find that in your chart because that will give you a lot of insight into a separate category as to what is important for you. But as this is for all of us, it's just before 9 a.m. Eastern time. So the 2 days before that, so October 30, October 31st, is when the moon is in the balsamic phase, which in essence is about surrendering to what is and just getting into a place of vulnerability in your own world and just allowing that sensitivity to come to the surface. And then on November 1st, when we have this new moon in Scorpio, we have this opportunity to really work on what is your next step because you have worked on what your shadow work is in a sense, or what you're looking for that you need closure on. So there's two sides to this new moon, if you will. There always is, because there's always lots of things involved with every new moon, just like any chart. But what I really feel with this one, and of course see with the astrology, is that it's this new moon is signaling us to do our deeper work, do our shadow work, whatever's coming to the surface. You don't have to kick a hornet's nest and just stir up your whole life, but you know individually what is going on in your life that needs a deeper look. And honor that and spend some time doing that, because that will open new doors once we let things go. We get a new key, we get a new opportunity. And with that new opportunity, we would be able to do a lot of healing, as well as bringing something new to our life that we can dive deep into, something that has depth. Scorpio is all about this whole process of birth and death and birth and rebirth and death and rebirth and death, which happens regularly. Just think of the cells in the body. They're constantly dying and being rebuilt. Same thing. Okay. So let's share the screen with you, because you all know I love to do that too. I just wanted to start off with the whole process like I just covered. So here's that new moon in Scorpio. Here on the East Coast, it's just at sunrise. It's November. The sun does rise. The sun rises right around 8 o'clock in the morning here in New England. Anyways, so this new moon is super important in all the ways I've just explained. So we can feel that. The aspects that it makes, this is just where it's located for my location and the time of this new moon in my location. Now, if you're further, I'm in New England, so New Hampshire. And so if you are further west, then this will be in the first house or the second house or the third house, depending on where you live. Don't be overly concerned with that. You can be if you know enough about astrology, but if you don't know enough about astrology, you just listen to everything I've said so far and how you can use it in your own life on a personal process. So the October 30, 31, balsamic moon, really doing a lot of inner work, softness, surrender, allow things to be. When we get to that new moon on November 1st, we'll be in the new moon cycle for a couple of days. It lasts 2.5 to 3 days. So November 1, 2, and 3, you have an opportunity to initiate and begin new processes that are about healing, maybe therapy, maybe some creative way to express what is going on inside that needs to come to the surface. This new moon, if you can see it over here, is in a trine aspect by 3 degrees over there to Neptune in Pisces. So it's a nice water trine. It's not a grand trine, but it's a nice water trine. Super important. That tells us is that this new moon can be triggering fears. This is a general statement for everybody, but all we have to do is look at all the horrendous things going on in this planet, and we can see there's a lot of fearful things to choose from. And it's stirring that up. So bring it back to you. It's like fishing, just bring it back to you. And I want you to focus on what you can do about the things that are triggering you or activating fear in you. Fear is like the main commodity right now in the world. It's crazy, but it's what it seems to be. It seems to be the dominant thing. Love is very important too, of course, but I want you to address this aspect. New moon in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. I want you to address any fear that you have coming up. I want you to give yourself a safe space to process, to question, to find somebody who can help you that is, a professional therapist. Anything in that category, you need to do that and you want to do that. It makes life a lot easier to work through and process, because we do have our individual lives, even though the whole world seems to have gone to shit right now. Oh, I swore I shouldn't swear. This is going public. Sorry, guys. The next thing I wanted to look at is, look, we have this grand trine in water. It's big. It's not exact, but it's happening simultaneously. Again, it's not exact aspects, but let me get my toolbar out of the way. We can see this here. We can see Mercury is trining Mars. It's less than 1 degree away. That's big. And then the trine to Neptune is a little bit of a separating aspect, but they're all within 1 degree of each other. This is significant. So Mercury at the very end of Scorpio, trust your intuition, trust what you feel. You will still be, this is tying in with the new moon, you will be and should have been getting messages around things that are coming to the surface for you, that are triggering fears within you that you want to process and work on. Trust that feeling. Trust your gut. Trust that feeling. There's Mercury in Scorpio. Try Neptune in Scorpio. Trust your feelings. Trust your intuition. Intuition is Neptune. Feelings is Mars in Cancer. Mars is about to enter Leo, but it's in the numbers that it will be retrograde. I have a whole separate video on that out already. Depending on where you are, if you're on my Patreon, you all get this first, always and forever. And thank you for your support, Patreon. If you're watching this on YouTube later when it gets posted, please consider coming over there and supporting me there. I would love that. So thank you for that. That's the commercial. I do need your support financially. It really makes a difference. Thank you. All right. So there's that grand trine that is just so important for us to pay attention to. And I did talk about, like I was just, when I interrupted myself, we were talking about Mars is in its middle of its retrograde numbers right here. It's not retrograde yet, not till December. I've got a full video on that. So wherever you are, you're going to scroll back or just go and look through my videos and you will find it. It was posted early October, the end of September, early October. And then you can just see here too, look at this. This is a kite. It's a grand trine in water, and then the kite points to Pluto in Capricorn. Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. So this kite configuration of the polarity of yin, which is receptive, is telling us while we're having a new moon in Scorpio, which is about the depth of where we're going and what we believe in, that deep, deep process. Pluto right there. Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio. Pluto's in Capricorn. Saturn's there. It's all connected. And that's a lot of astrological gibberish right there. But what it really comes down to is we are drawn to make these deep, important changes now. It is not just the new moon in Scorpio. It is the new moon in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. It is simultaneously this grand trine in water with Mercury, Neptune, and Mars. And the peak of this kite configuration is Pluto. We have a lot of opportunities to work through, each and every one of us, what we are afraid of and what we need to just shine the light on so we can move forward. And I will draw that out for you so you can see that that is the shape of a kite. Okay. They're all feminine signs, which is the yin polarity. Not feminine gender. It just means feminine. It's soft. It's receptive. Intuitive. The water and the earth signs are all the yin quality. So that means that's receptive. So let's read my notes. You may feel drawn to spiritual practices, dreams, creative outlets that allow for emotional releasing and healing. So good. So this is a time of letting go of old patterns. That's this, right? Time of letting go of old patterns, old fears, things that trigger you. We don't have to do that anymore. So now that we have this new moon over the next few days, November 1, 2, 3, as we're in a new moon phase in Scorpio, this gives us an opportunity for a new growth in a new lunar cycle. So super good for any of the shamanic type practices, the creative practices, and those deep spiritual practices. All of that is so, so important. And I'm going to stop my share. That's it. I'll write this out. I'll get it online. I could say I'm highly motivated. I have not been motivated. I am recording this on October 23rd. I should have done it a week ago. I can't motivate myself for anything. And I'm super slow. So if you would like to have a session, I got lots of open time all of October. So thank you guys. And yeah, let's leave it at that. Blessings, everybody. Namaste.